Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with the Soul. I'm Rita Hickman, and I'm a body-mind expert in the Chicagoland area and a shiatsu massage therapist. And thank you for joining me again. I've been gone for about 2 weeks. I went for a great holiday in Maui with the family, and it was super busy and crazy, but filled with all sorts of wonderful, magical things, as life always is. So, good morning, Kelly. I'm so glad that you're here this morning. So, this whole week, we're going to be talking about surviving winter. Good morning, Mary Jane, and good morning, Carrie. We're going to be talking about surviving winter, especially if you are more sensitive or empathic. Good morning, Brandy. As you can see, good morning, Kelly. I do these with one of my favorite views. It's the view of my backyard, and so you get to see all the seasons change. And I bring that up because one of the reasons that I live in the woods is because I've learned it's a really important way for me to stay connected and grounded and survive life in general. Good morning, Kristen, and I'm so glad everybody's here today. So, okay, we're going to do a general overview on surviving winter today, and then each day until Friday, we're going to do a very, specific part of it, a very specific tool. Because in Asian medicine, they believe that really everything is always in balance. And it's about finding the balance that you like. Good morning, Monica. It's not about being broken. It's not about there being something wrong with you that needs to be fixed. It's about finding a balance that you like. And so you have, every winter of your whole life, found some balance that's gotten you here to survive as long as you have. Christine, nice to see you. And so feel free also to share all of your own tips in the comments section. We'll address them throughout the week and bring them up, because we've all had to find really great coping tools to make it through what's usually considered a very difficult time if you're empathic. Now, for me, the winter and the holidays, one of the reasons it's been challenging for me over the years is because the holidays bring in memories of everybody else that's always been around me that's been depressed, that's been anxious and frustrated and aggravated. And that's imprinted on me because I'm sensitive to my surroundings and sensitive to my environment. When people struggle in my life with depression, anxiety, frustration, and a lot of people in our families do, then it kind of turns the holidays from something that should be joyous and celebratory and wonderful, and it turns it into something that's heavy and dark, and we don't know why we're getting anxious. We don't know why we're getting frustrated. But if you prepare for these things, if you prepare yourself with some knowledge and get things ready now, then you'll make it all the way to the end, no matter where you live. Because winter, has certain things associated with it, certain qualities, whether you live in Hawaii, whether you live in Australia, whether you live in northern Illinois like I do, it's got certain qualities associated with it. And those are the things that we're looking to navigate. And not only look at it from how do we get to the other side, I can't wait till spring's here, oh my God, how do I dig in my heels and survive this? But how do we make it part of our life? Not so it's, yippee, joy, unicorns flying out of the sky, but instead so that we dive into the rich fulfillment of it, and we come out on the other side someone that's happier and has more peace because we go through this dark time. So good morning, Andrea. Glad that you could join us. So in Native American cultures, indigenous, older cultures, whether it be North Native American, South Native American, whether you look at Celtic, whether you look at African, indigenous of any sort, things like that, the winter time is a time of quiet and a time of reflection. What tends to happen is we don't have enough resources in our corner. We've been working our butt off to get ready for the holidays and Thanksgiving and Christmas and getting gifts for each other and decorating and forcing being cheerful or dealing with all the stuff that comes up, that we don't use it as the really beautiful shamanic time that it is. Winter, according to ancient cultures and according to Asian medicine, is a time that you can create the reality that you really want in your life. You start to work through the muck that's been hanging around, and you're able to turn it into something that transforms you or creates you into the person and the life that you're really looking for. So don't discount this time. It's so easy to fall off of our cliff or just look at it as, how do I get through this? How do I power through this? Do I have my vitamin D? Am I walking enough? Am I drinking enough water? And, am I being nice to enough people? Hi, Robin, I'm glad you're here. Most of us look at winter as something that we need to get through, instead of something that is a natural opportunity for us to really shape the world around us. When I work with people, the winter time, when we do energy work, that winter time is the time of dreaming. It's the time when we're forced to be quiet. We're forced to isolate ourselves. Good morning, Stephanie. And go within. And for many of us, that looks like depression because it's very hard to sit with how we feel. But it doesn't have to be as hard as you think. If you make some good preparations, then you can use this time, this feeling time, this dreaming time and creation time as it's meant to be. So preparing is creating an environment for yourself that's more shamanic, more supportive for this process of going inside of yourself, and being gentle with you, realizing that you don't have to power through, that you can find a balance that lets you tiptoe up to the doors that you've kept locked, closed, and surrounded by barbed wire, and surrounded by anger and hurt and frustration and busyness and food. And you can sneak up to those doors. That's what this time is. And you can peek underneath, and you can look through the keyhole, and you can open them up real quick and slam them real fast again. Look at this time not as, how do I be joyful? How do I not be depressed? How do I not, punch out everybody's lights in the parking lot? One of my favorite stories about the holidays and religion. Good morning, Donna. Is I was raised Catholic. And the funny thing is people would come for Christmas Mass, midnight Mass we'd go. And everybody would sing the hymns, and we're looking forward to this next year. And then they'd get out in the parking lot, and there would be a traffic jam, and they'd start flipping people off. And good morning, Lynette. How nice to see you. And so they'd look at the holidays as something they had to be joyful for, and they'd work so hard that they'd flip out, that they couldn't stay the person that they wanted to be. If you use this quiet time, this time when you're forced to be isolated because it's too cold, you don't feel good, your vitamin D is low, you can't talk to people, and you're depressed. If you use this as a time to clean up the things that have been getting in your way, that you've been too busy to address, then you're going to come out on the other side, not a new person, but a wider, more expanded version of who you want to be. You're going to be in a better place because this darkness is a beautiful opportunity to go back into the womb and back into that self-reflection and work through those things. Hi, Karen. How wonderful to see you. It's been a while. I work through those things. But you have to look at it as being gentle with yourself. One of the ways that I'm gentle with myself is I get cold very easily in the winter. And I used to push myself or force myself, well, you just need to keep working. You just need to, power through this and don't turn up the heat. What's wrong with you? I realized that When I was warm, I could get more done. I could be more present to what was going on. So I allowed myself to take baths in the morning, so my whole body could get warm. I allowed myself to create a space for myself where I could work comfortably. I'd let myself even work in bed, because that was the coziest spot, and I could shut the door and turn up the heaters. You want to start giving yourself permission to not be distracted, to let yourself go into these deeper times and not be distracted by the cold and the busyness and the craziness and everything that you need to do for other people. That's probably how you've coped in the past. It's either been, 90 miles an hour or zero. You've either kept yourself super busy so you didn't think about how stressed you were, or, how little money you felt you had, or all the things you need to get done, or all the painful memories you might have had around the holidays. As I said, because the people around you might not have been present for you, or they were dealing with their own anxiety or stress or depression. No one really worked through these things with us to help us reframe them and use this time as a time of celebration. Not as a celebration of the holidays and joy, and that's great, but as a celebration of how do we thrive, how do we go into this dark space and come out amazing, come out full and whole and bigger than when we first walk into the situation. So as I said, we start now looking at how we're going to problem solve the normal problems that come with winter. So one is cold. Look at ways that you can give yourself permission to stay warm. Give yourself permission to be comfortable. Let yourself take that time that normally you might be depressed, staying in bed, watching, episodes of MASH or Laugh-In or, James Bond, to distract yourself. Let yourself be with how you feel, knowing that this is perfect, that being with how you feel, and I'm going to help you this whole winter navigate through this. I'm going to help you not get stuck and lost in the difficulties, in people's crankiness, in people's negative energy that's going to surround you. I'm going to help you not get lost in that. I'm going to help you thrive through this. So get your tools in line. You all know what they are, or should be already if you're watching this, because you're smart enough women and human beings that you've got some of your tools around you already. Vitamin D is one. Making sure that you get enough sunlight and you get enough movement is another. You don't become a big jelly roll, because otherwise you'll just fall down that whole depression thing. You watch how many cookies you eat and how much sugar, how much you mess with your blood sugar, how much you mess with foods that cause inflammation and make you depressed. So, you're going to already work on those things. You're already going to put those things in place. And I'm giving you permission to do so. Start now. Start looking for the resources that will get you through this. And that will let you dive into all of the junk that's been controlling you for your life. It's going to let you peek into those doors and work through and feel the things that you have shoved so far down that now they've turned into fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis and chronic illness and a low immune system and a bad back and bad hips and bad feet and bad knees. And, it's going to let you work through those things that keep you hurting, whether it's in your relationships because you feel alone and lonely, or whether it's in your body because it hurts. And when you learn this, when you learn how to make winter a time that you look forward to, because now it's your time to really dive into you and become friends with all those parts and pieces that you normally don't have time for, then you can help the people that you love. Because you know what? Winter is a time when everybody struggles. really. We get cranky, we get irritable. Everybody's in our space. We need to get out and away from people. Winter's a time when, if you're sensitive to people's energies, it's not just hard because of your own. It's hard because they're all pressing in on you and making your world smaller and smaller and demanding things from you. If you can figure out how to navigate this, if you can figure out not just the tools to help you survive, but how to come out on the other side a better, quote unquote, better, happier person, you will shape an environment and you will give advice and mentoring for the people that you love so that your life keeps spiraling up. So it's not you against the world anymore. It's more like you are bringing everybody else along with you on this journey. So the better space you're in, the more shifts and changes that you make with yourself, the more you'll influence the people around you. And that's why we really need to focus on this time. Because if you work through this, if you figure it out, you will be able to help the people that you love figure it out too. You will help create a life in a world that's better. And it won't be based on giving advice. Well, you need to make sure you take your vitamin D. You need to make sure you do this or you do that, or you need to cut back on this. It's not about that. That's kind of a shaming sort of thing, or a guilt sort of thing, so that we don't pay attention to our own stuff. But if you create an energy, if you walk into the room and you are sincerely happy and you are sincerely grounded and comfortable with who you are, then that's going to influence the people around you. And they're going to want to start to feel the same way that you do. And they're going to start looking to you for that advice and to you for that assistance in order to feel better. Hi, Kate. How lovely to see you. So if it starts with you, and it starts with you changing, all that crap that's been stirring around in your head and in your body, and feeling better, then you're not just a lemming that's been running around with everybody else this winter trying to survive but pretending to be happy. Instead, you're going to be a real pioneer, somebody at the forefront that helps the people that they love shift and change and get into a better place. People, when we communicate with people, only 50% of what they hear, hi Tricia, only 50% of what they hear, of what they receive or you're communicating with them is your words. A much bigger part of it is the authenticity in your facial expressions and in your body. Now, I'll give one of my favorite examples. The more I've cleaned up and visited and released the energy and let myself be friends with all those parts and pieces of me that I've locked into boxes, the more I've been able to do that, the more relaxed my face has become. So before, I thought I was smiling. I'll give you a smile. Maybe you can notice it on a subconscious level. Before, I would smile, and this would be my smile. All right? Now, it's taken some time. It's taken a few years, a few of these winters to work through this. But now when I smile, this is my smile. My whole face is so much more relaxed. And people can tell, even if you think you're doing a good job at faking it, even if you think that you're saying all the right things and doing all the right things, people are telling on some subconscious level. And if you can walk into the room, if you can walk into breakfast or lunch or dinner or whatever, and be okay with who you are and what's going on, even if it feels dark or dangerous or icky or depressed or anxious, then the other people will respond to you. And usually within a little bit of time, then their energy will come up. Because of the mirror cells in our brain, when we look at someone, our body responds in kind, in like. So the best way to learn something is to watch a master. And so when you become a master at loving yourself, at enjoying yourself, at being okay with life the way that it is, then you have become a master. And the people around you will look at you and they will automatically respond to your energy. So if you want to help the people that you love, you really got to figure out how to navigate this stuff. And that's what I'm going to help us do. So it's not just about surviving winter, and it's not just about thriving through winter. It's about using winter as the time to go inside, being in a good space so you don't fall off your cliff and go crazy, but to touch those parts and pieces of you that are usually neglected, and to let them come up so that you can touch them with love. You know, one of my rules of thumb is every part of me that comes up, every feeling, memory, reaction, trigger, it's coming up because it wants to be loved. And now is my time to do it. When we're stressed out, when the time is dark and we're physically stressed out, and mentally and emotionally stressed out, when we're under that pressure, that is the perfect, the designed, grand design time for us to look at those things that normally we can just sail through. Because normally we're distracted, we're doing fine, and all those things that make our decisions for us, start to come to the surface. I've got some friends, and my friends are going through some really rough times right now. And their attachment style, their way of looking at the world is, I can do anything. I've always been able to do anything. I'm not going to ask for help. I'm going to look fine. I'm going to be fine. But then they start getting sick and their bodies start falling apart on them. And the pain gets worse and the craziness in their head gets worse. And they start not being able to sleep or having to take Ambien to sleep or, because their stress level is heightened and they feel like they're out of control. And they feel if they can just find the answer, they're going to get in control again. Let's switch this point of view and look at these times of stress and craziness as a way for those things that we've buried the deepest to come to the surface so that we can take them out of our subconscious. Good morning, Michael. Nice to see you. So we can bring the things that have controlled us out of our subconscious and into our conscious mind. And if you can bring it out of the dark and into the light, it means now you can do something about it, because knowledge is power. If you know who you are and what's controlling you, you can do something about it. You can decide, I want to believe that, you can decide that you want to believe that you're a successful, capable, loving, balanced, peaceful human being. You get to decide that. But until you get the thought out of those deep recesses of your mind that, the thought might have been passed down from your mother and your mother's mother and your mother's mother's mother. They say 7 generations. So when you're able to pull this stuff out of the way back and bring it forward, you can say, do I still want to believe that I'm nothing? Do I still want to believe that I am incapable and I can't do this and I can't trust anybody and nobody's there for me, and if I don't do it, then nobody will do it, and that I need to leave before the other person leaves? Do we really want to believe that about life? But we don't know what we believe until we're sitting there in our sadness and our anger and our anxiety, and we let those thoughts and feelings come up. We don't know they're even there. Hi, Timothy. Nice to see you. We don't even know that they're there until something like winter and the gloominess and the stress and the crankiness of people, until it cracks us open like a nut, so that we can take all of this good stuff that's made our choices for us, and we can rewire ourselves. We can rewire our thoughts and our nervous system. Because once you know what you think, what you really think, what parts of you are thinking that are sabotaging you, once you know what's back there, you can rewire it. There's a path and a pattern and a way of doing that. And as I said, that's what I'm going to help us through this winter. So don't look at these times of family and chaos and all the stuff that I need to do and everything that I need to be. Don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as a way to finally make friends and love those parts and pieces that you've denied and cut off and abandoned. And you know what? When you heal that, you are healing a whole system, a whole family system that you've lived with. They've talked about, and I've said this on other videos, that they found that our emotions and our environment directly affects our DNA, and that DNA gets passed down through generations genetically. So if you're going through something, then it will get passed down to your children and your children's children, that you've been changed or adjusted. So if you can fix these things, if you can rewire how you think and you view the world and approach it in a way that brings you authentic happiness, then you're going to be affecting everybody that comes after you. You have the opportunity right now to break this chain of thought, to break this pattern of, good person, bad person, right, wrong, up, down. You have the opportunity to really make a big ripple effect and difference for the people, that everybody that you touch, and every person that comes into contact with you. Because you don't only affect them with your words or your actions, you affect them through your role modeling, and you affect them through your energy. And if you can figure this out, you'll be able to help your whole family rise up. You don't have to go the 12-step program route of, well, they can't figure it out, so I need to abandon them. Good morning, Michelle. Nice to see you. You don't have to go the route where they didn't listen to my advice, so I need to let them go and I need to save myself. The neat thing about healers and helping other people heal, if that's what you want to do, is that you are in a good enough space, you are okay enough with yourself and in love enough with yourself, that you have so many resources coming in, so much universal energy and so much vitality and okayness and relaxedness, that you don't have to abandon the people that you love in order to survive. You don't have to abandon them on the sinking ship and then deal with the guilt. You don't have to cut them off and cut them out of your life and walk away from them. There's a woman that I work with, and one of her therapists told her that she just needed to walk away from her 80-something-year-old mother. She's like, that ship has sailed. I'm not going to be that person that walks away from my 80-year-old mother and abandons her. We all make choices of the people that we want to help, that we want to love. And it's either nature or nurture. Either, they came into our lives and that's who we want to be, or their family, or whatever it may be. So you are making choices to help certain people, and you don't have to abandon them. You don't have to detach from them or disassociate from them. You don't have to do that dance of back and forth of guilt, of I'm not going to have anything to do with them. They're not going to affect me anymore. Then back to, I did it again. I helped them, and I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to ignore them and abandon them. You don't have to be that person. You can be the person that has so much life going through them that they have more than enough to give, and more than enough to give a helping hand. You're supposed to give from the overflow. And this winter time, let's bring it all the way back around. This winter time is the time that you do that. It's the time that you free up the energy and the resources that you've wasted and used on worrying and obsessing and thinking and being paranoid and doing and being and eating. And, this is the time that you get to reclaim all of that energy that you've wasted. I look at it as in juggling balls. You can either get really great at juggling thousands of balls, but eventually you're going to reach your limit, or you can get rid of the ones that you don't need anymore, freeing up some space so that you can juggle more balls that you'd prefer. What if you could get rid of worrying about tomorrow, or worrying about the unknown? What if you could free up that energy in that space? What if you could free up the energy that goes to being angry and being hurt and being frustrated? What if you didn't have to spend so much time and energy on those guards, on not feeling things, on pretending that you don't feel things? Do you know how much energy we waste doing that? I mean, internal, mental and emotional and nervous system energy. And do you know how much energy we waste? If you can use winter as an opportunity to free those things up, to put them back where they belong, and to rewire your brain and nervous system, you are going to be able to finally do the things that you've wanted to do because you finally have enough time, energy, mental energy, space, whatever it is, to do them. And that's what we're going to spend this week on. It's not just going to be on take your vitamin D and, cut back on sugar and, make sure you exercise more. Those are important. Trust me, those are important. But we're also going to work on making sure that you get your emotional and mental needs met so that you can take the risk to tiptoe closer to those things which you have pushed down. So anytime you're under stress, like the next 3-4 months, it's the perfect time and the perfect opportunity. And you're going to come out on the other side ready and able to really be the person that you've always dreamed of being. So I'm looking forward to this week. I'm looking forward to helping all of us get through this winter. And if you want to make sure you get these on a regular basis, then go to inspiremassage.com and sign up for our emails. Oh, Kelly says, I was taught by my spiritual mentor to view energy as puzzle pieces, and every day we need to reclaim our own puzzle pieces and release the ones that don't work for us. Hi, Annette. And that's true. That's exactly it. And I look at them as balls. They can be puzzle pieces. They can be balls. We get to choose every moment what we pick up and what we want to put down. One of my favorite phrases in body work is pay attention to what you put down because you get to choose whether you want to pick it back up again or not. Or gunny sacking, as another friend of mine says. Take things out of your gunny sack and put them down. This is what winter's about. We're taking everything out of our gunny sack. We're taking it all out, we're looking at it, and we're deciding what we're going to put down and rewire and what we're going to keep and polish, what's valuable, what's the gold. And this is how you do it. This is when you do it. So, as I said, sign up for our emails because then you'll make sure you don't miss a video, and then you can watch them, at your leisure. Have a great rest of your day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. If you've got things you'd like me to cover specifically, put them in the comments. And I will, or send me an email, rhickman@inspiremassage.com, and I'll make sure that I cover it. I'll make sure that you get what you need. So, have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you for the rest of the week. Bye.